was shooting some people outside of the school when a couple of guys who was up to no
Someone
good
send help.
started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got one
If
little
anyone
fight. My
can
mom
hear
got
me.
scared. She said,
Please.
when I came near, the license plates of freshman
Someone
had
make
dice
this
in the
stop.
beer. If anything, I said that this gap was rare, but I thought, now forget it. You're home to Bel Air.
I think this is my own personal hell. Is this what this is? Welcome to the Horror Virgin.
Holy shit.
I'm
Wow, that
Clint.
I'm the Virgin Todd.
I'm Jennifer.
What the fuck is
Oh,
happening
God.
up in this bitch?
Oh.
We just got done watching Tremors.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And I've got some thoughts
You do. Have some-
Do you?
about it.
I feel like this is the first one that you were not scared by at all.
Oh, I do have one spot that did scare me that we'll talk about when we get to it, going through the synopsis, but
Did it have to do
No.
with Kevin Bacon and his hair?
no. Honestly,
pretty fucking
I know
scary.
you didn't like it, but
It's like I tried to describe. It's like a mullet, but like in the front, he's got it moosed up or
I
something.
don't know. I think it was all the same length. It was just like it was.
Yeah.
It was
It's like
weird, but I think it was all the
Christian
same length.
Slater's hair, but an inch longer.
Yeah, but Christian
it's a little
Slater's
more
is so
floppy.
much better.
ooh
Well,
yeah.
Christian
Like
Slater
Robin
can pull
Hood,
it
Prince
off.
of Thieves. You
the
know?
Slate.
Oh yeah, that is peak Slater hair.
Because it's a spoon, you twitch. It'll hurt more. Okay, before we start, I wanted to say that we are super impressed that you guys have been rating and reviewing the podcast.
Yes, thank you.
So much so that we are going to do a contest and give away mugs for those who rate and review the podcast. So make sure you
Woo.
both rate
Not
and review
just
it.
any mugs.
They
Well, yeah,
What
so-
kind of mugs are
Good,
they?
good call. Yeah, if you've been following us on socials at Horror Virgin,
Which you
on-
should be.
on
I have not.
Facebook,
Cool.
Instagram, or Twitter, it's because you're not on the internet.
I am on nothing.
He
You can
lives
check
off the
Clint
grid.
out on his
Angel
Angel
Fire,
Fire
baby.
blog.
The male gaze.
We need a fanfic Angel Fire blog for Clint
Yes.
called The Male Gaze, and then we need to attack Jared Leto's Wikipedia page and make it sound like he had to get surgery to get his eyes fixed because they're a little bit too close together.
Yeah.
No, if
Tell
you-
us about these mugs.
Yeah, if you've
Todd.
been following us on social, you've seen pictures of them. They've got the HV cherry logo on one side and then the Horror Virgin full text logo on the other side. And we're going to be giving them away. I think we're going to give away at the next podcast. We're going
Yes.
to get the whole list of all the people who have actually rated and reviewed the podcast on iTunes. And we are going to pull 3 names out next time.
Yeah.
And we're going to send you guys 3 mugs. Well,
Yeah.
1
Ooh.
each.
Yes.
Right. For those of you who haven't done a review yet, if you do one, throw it on a screenshot and tweet it at us or send it to us on Instagram or whatever, and we'll get you in.
Well,
Yeah.
we are in our brand new
Pod
pod
loft.
loft.
Podloft.
Gonna have
So
emergency
this movie had
session.
Reba McEntire in it.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
I can't believe that. And I
And
know you
Kevin
don't.
Bacon.
Was he in
I
this?
would. This is another
Of course
movie
he
that I was convinced I had seen, and I have not.
Really?
You hadn't
I
seen
do
this?
not think I have seen
I
this
haven't
movie
seen this.
because for whatever reason I
haven't
thought
seen
that
anything.
you.
That's true.
So one of you told me Reba McEntire was in it. And
I
I'm like,
told
I've
you
never
Reba
seen
It was
that
probably
fucking
her because I didn't
But
know.
then I got it confused with Dolly Parton, and so
you
I'm
started
going
talking
in
about Dolly
thinking,
Parton.
and then I saw Reba, and I was like, "Are Reba and Dolly Parton in this
No.
movie?"
That
No.
would be
But they are
awesome.
not.
They could have a country
Although
singing
that
rap
would
battle.
be the crossover event of
the century.
That would.
Yeah.
Dolly
There are a
Reba
lot of
rap
things that I
battle.
don't give a shit about anymore. That team up and like Van Damme versus Seagal, don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care anymore.
I've seen enough of Seagal's Sheriff TV show to realize that he's
At
an
my
idiot.
house.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, those are some of the best nights I've ever had. Was watching that fucking. What is that show called?
Your life is very sad.
Ew.
Steven Seagal, Lawman.
Oh my God! If you
Yeah.
guys haven't seen it, check it out. It
Yeah,
is-
Jen, you gotta listen to just
Yo,
the intro of that.
Seagal
like,
What is
Vision
this
It's his
show?
nuts.
voiceover, and it's like, "My name is Steven Seagal." That's right, Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And like he
This
does,
is real. This
he
is all
has
real.
like Seagal vision. Like
He senses danger.
Oh my God.
You have to watch this show.
But it's like cops. It's like a cop style thing. But
How
like
can he sense danger?
he
he's
just
Steven
can because he's Steven
fucking
Seagal.
And his character's name
Seagal
is
vision
Steven
is kind of
Seagal.
like
no,
night
he's not a
vision at night.
character.
He like
he's
hones in
playing
on people.
himself. It's insane.
It's a
Although-
reality show
Yeah.
about Steven Seagal
Are
being
you
a
fu-
cop.
Okay, this sounds.
He's not really a cop, but the show makes it out.
So this
to be
podcast
like
is
he
now the Steven Seagal Lawman podcast.
spin-off.
Spin-off podcast.
I would totally do a show
would be
about
fun.
that.
And this spin-off's going to be called Seagal Has to Still Be a Virgin.
You know what movie Steven Seagal is not in?
Tremors.
Tremors.
Yeah.
But he goddamn well should be.
He
I
could
mean-
have been one of the Tremors.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, so let's go through it.
Yeah.
Because I have some thoughts on this.
Oh,
Do
do
you?
you?
Yeah, so it's
Interesting.
in a place called Paradise?
Perfection.
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 Yeah.
That's what it was.
Utah?
We got to watch
And
Tremors 3
four-
because it's called Back to Perfection.
And 14 people live there.
Yeah,
It's
including
pretty-
Earl and Val.
Earl and Val, who are basically like the
They're like
handymen
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
the
the 14
handymen of the
people that
14
live in
people,
this
yes.
town.
Yes.
Right.
Which is really weird, and they're getting paid like what, like $50 a pop or something
Yeah.
each day.
Well, when we first see them, they're
And-
fixing a fence or something.
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
They're fixing like a wired fence. They seem pretty bad at their jobs, to
Right.
be honest.
Yeah, if you watch Kevin Bacon trying to hammer that barbed wire in the fence, it's so bad.
That wasn't in the script. He's just really bad at hammering nails, and so they just left it in. That was improvised. All that nailing was improvised.
I want a backstory between these two. How did these
because
two?
you're talking about nailing Kevin Bacon, and
How
I
did
really
these
don't
two-
want
I mean,
Ryan Phillippe to get
Fred
jealous
Ward
if
is
he's listening.
probably
Hey.
fucking Kevin Bacon. Let's
Who
be
was?
honest. Fred Ward, his partner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Kevin
What's
Bacon.
the backstory of these two? How did they get
The
together?
prequel of this is actually called Brokeback Mountain.
Nice.
I mean, they're sleeping together in the back of the same truck.
I don't know
Okay,
how to
quit
quit your
you.
tremors.
Yep.
Gross. Those vibrations, though, right?
Oh,
I don't know. I guess they're just best friends. Maybe they were in the war together.
it seems.
Oh, yeah.
the war?
Interesting.
It seems like
Fred Ward's
I
old
think they
enough to
were
be
probably in
some
prison
kind
together.
of
Oh,
war.
that sounds. Oh yeah.
Cowboy prison.
Hey, you know what?
These two are
Let's
straight
just
up
make
cowboys.
up a backstory because I don't think there is
Well, okay,
one.
I'll say this: Kevin Bacon is much younger than
Yeah.
old Ward.
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward, and it seems like
Old.
there's sort of a fatherly son vibe there.
Like more like a big brother.
Yeah, I
Well,
would agree.
that's
I
probably
mean,
true.
for some
That's probably
reason,
true.
they're sleeping out in
Together.
the desert, and so when the
Yeah.
movie started, I was like, oh, maybe they're like rounding up cattle or doing something like that.
There were
Yeah.
cattle
But
in
they're
that first scene, but no, they were
they're
not
like
rounding up those
handy-
cattle.
They're like handy guys,
Right, they're
handymen,
handymen.
and I'm like, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah,
is-
because they fix the fence, and then in another scene they're like plumbing someone's sewage.
Yeah.
and like
But I will give them props.
Or
It took
septic
them
tank.
about 10 minutes in the movie to realize they needed to leave this bumfuck town. And I'm like,
Right.
ooh, nobody ever actually realizes this and does this. And they're like, oh,
Right.
we got to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they pile all their shit, which I don't have a lot of shit, from their were they living in like a trailer?
I think so.
Yeah.
Were they? Oh, I thought they were just sleeping in the back of their truck.
Well, they were
went,
when they were out in the wilderness.
I thought they went to their trailer
I
to
think so.
pack up their shit. And then there was like another,
They have like a
there's
hole
another
in the ground.
trailer across from them or whatever. But,
But yeah, for like the first 30 minutes of this, they're trying to leave.
Yeah, right.
And they keep canting because they keep canting.
I bought it.
I don't know.
They are
I don't-
they're
Nobody corrected you.
they're
I
unable
know.
to do this because
Like maybe that's some
the
kind of new
tremor.
slang.
So when's the first time we see a tremor? Well, oh wait, when they're before they get back to the town, the first time they run into semen on her
Rhonda.
nose chick.
Rhonda.
Thank you.
Oh,
and
yes,
she's
yes,
got
yes,
like
yes.
the
Sunscreen.
Sunscreen on. Oh,
on
is that
her
what it
nose.
is?
Yeah.
And what is
I'm
she
applying
again? Is she a
sunscreen
seismologist?
I was trying to shoot for that. It's pointing right at me.
I don't know what sunscreen is. Never be on the business end of a sunscreen
I
squirt.
don't want to stare that thing down.
That's a tremor. I don't want to look right in the mouth.
I'm no seismologist.
Clint is so mad at us right now.
I'm just sitting here waiting to do
We're
a
having geology
podcast.
puns.
Oh, my
I did like
God.
that it was kind of funny that Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, like, they're like, we heard a woman is out here somewhere.
Right.
We have to check her out.
And
and
they
he
go,
drives, and
like
then he's like
off-roading through the
driving. He's
desert.
like, it better be blonde with big boobs and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And they get out there, and she's a solid 4. And he
Yeah.
was very disappointed.
But she just hasn't taken her glasses off
That's
yet.
true.
And we're talking-
She's an attractive woman, and later on he does fall for her anyway.
Yes.
Well,
so I mean, this is really
Because
a
of her
love story,
mind. And there's
guys.
not,
It's
there
a love
aren't
story.
many options out there. you
That's
know?
true.
No, it's Fred
A
Ward
solid
or
4
that
in the
woman.
desert
Yeah.
is
Or
a
the cow.
12.
So anyway, so they talk to Rhonda and then they bone off back to town. That's when they get their shit and they try and leave, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
because
so. Yeah.
the mom offers them some extra work and they turn it down.
Oh, you know.
Oh,
what
Going
yeah.
to
Is that
Bixby.
the blonde
The
mom?
mom
I can't
of
remember.
Jurassic Park
A
girl.
Jurassic Park
Mhm.
girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
who is actually
Ariana Richards.
Todd and I were talking about. She
Yeah.
actually returns for Tremors 3
Does she
as an
really?
adult.
Wait, Tremors 3?
Tremors 3
I thought you said it was
return
Jurassic Park
to
3. My bad.
perfection or whatever.
My
the
bad.
No, I
fuck.
don't think she's in any of the other Jurassic Parks, is she?
I don't
She's
know.
in Lost World for like a second.
Yeah,
All I
she-
know
she
is that
gets
she's
eaten.
eating Jello in the first one, and it shakes on the spoon when the raptors come. in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't eat Jello.
Is that what you do when you
'Cause you
eat Jello?
choke on Jell-O.
Does it shake all the way
I
to your
choked on Jello one time.
And you've
I
been
haven't
made
had it
fun
since
of the rest
then.
of your
Yeah,
life.
Still
that's
just
true.
curious about how that
don't
is
really understand.
physically possible to choke on Jello.
I was a child. Can I just say that this is Dune? This is the movie.
Yes,
they're
it
very
is.
clearly in the sands of Arrakis.
I was wondering if you were
and
going to say that.
1,000%, and no one's going to understand this because I'm a special kind of fucking nerd, but
Yeah.
like those things were the sandworms from Dune.
They're remaking Dune again.
The spice must flow, Clint.
Clint, have you seen Dune?
Of course he has.
A long time ago. Denis Villeneuve that did Arrival. He's directing the new
Did
Dune.
he do?
He just did
Nice.
Blade Runner 2049. Sicario was his best movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Sting returning as Paul Atreides?
I mean, I hope so.
I will not see it without that.
I demand it.
The only thing I know about Sting is that he hates his drummer and he fucks his wife for hours at a time.
With no climax,
Huh.
right?
Did somebody just get done?
I'm
How would
sorry.
we do
I'm
that?
not
They can
sure
feel
if I know.
They can feel vibrations, Todd.
Tan-
I know my
Turn your phone off.
My phone just vibrated and I literally feared for my tremor life.
Oh, your trimmer life.
Well,
Those trimmers, though.
I am single. Ladies, somebody find me a Rhonda with jizz on her nose. Let's do this.
Listeners.
Yo, Clint is so mad at me right now. I'm going to edit all of this out. Okay, so they're trying to bone out to Bigsby. They're trying to bone out to Bigsby.
Bone out to Bigsby.
That's got to be Tremors 2, boning out to Bigsby.
Trimmers 3, down to Pound
Back
Town.
to paradise. Back to
They
what is
have
it?
made a
Pound
lot
Town.
of these movies. I was shocked at how many they
No,
made.
Pound Town Perfection.
Pound Town Perfection, Tremors 5, Pound Town Perfection.
Pound Town Perfection is they get like these things that smash the ground to attract the tremors away from the town.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're sitting on a gold mine.
Yeah.
Sitting on a gold
If you want to
mine.
save the town, you got to pound the town.
Exactly.
how
They
you
got
do
to
it.
pound the town to get people
To save the
save the
town.
town, Clint. We've got to go to perfection
Damn you,
and pound.
Tremor.
This podcast is going to be 9 hours long.
What did you put in that Dr. Pepper?
Got like 5 minutes of usable shit.
So they go to
Boning down to
they show up at
Bigsby.
that like gas station / restaurant / whatever the fuck.
That's run
General
by the
store.
Three
Yeah,
Ninjas
ran
dad.
by the Three Ninjas grandpa.
Granddad, yeah.
Victor Wong is his name.
Yeah.
Victor Wong.
Has that lazy eye.
Dude, there are a lot
Couldn't
of
get
lazy eye actors.
Couldn't get Forrest Whitaker, man.
I was going to make a Forrest Whitaker
Oh.
joke perfect.
I thought he was just faking that.
Oh, he has been since Good Morning Vietnam then.
I didn't know he was in
Well, he was trying to apply some sunscreen to his nose, but
Oh.
he missed and it shot in his
I
eye.
think he was just self-conscious.
Oh, we are horrible people.
That's right. So they're driving out of town and they see big drunky dude up,
Yes.
on,
Up on the pole, and
thing.
he-
It's like a power pole or like a
Yeah.
power line pole or something like that.
Yeah, and they got him
Some
down,
tower.
and
They
who
didn't-
was this? The town paramedic or something said he died of thirst,
Yeah, he performed,
like
Yeah.
dehydration.
he performed a
Pickup
truck
truck
bed autopsy.
Yeah, and his official cause of death was thirst.
And listen, I have killed a lot of women with thirst, so I understand it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying, Clint?
I do not.
Those thirsty women.
They get that thirst going. Clint, they can't get it.
I don't know.
I refuse to look at. I refuse to look at you.
They
know.
can't.
Uh,
So okay, but they turn. That's like the first time they turn back around and go back to town because they got to take drunker guy.
Then they try to go back out again, and
Yes.
that's when the construction people have been trimmered, and all the boulders fell in the road,
Okay.
so they can't get out now. Apparently, there's only one road.
There's only one. Yeah, there's only one road out of one. Wow,
One
wow.
road.
Wiggle whack. There's only one road out of
It's
paradise.
shaping up to be a
Perfection.
rap-themed
Perfection.
I
episode.
fucking am gonna call it paradise. Can we just change
I
the name to
missed
paradise?
the part where the town was called Perfection until they showed the sign maybe like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he kept saying dialogue, like Fred Ward kept talking about perfection.
He
I'm
did.
like, what the fuck is he talking about?
just has this
I got
weird
very
thing.
confused by his dialogue.
Yeah.
And then I'm a dumbass. That's all that was.
I think you actually just left the room for a minute and didn't see when the
Oh,
sign
that's a
was
good
up.
point. Yeah, I think I went to the bathroom and then
Yeah,
came
because
back.
Yeah,
it
and I
was
couldn't figure out
real
how to
clear
pause
me.
it.
Uh-huh. Well, I remember
You
going to the
read the
bathroom and I
sign.
come back, and how did they end up in that field where they end up standing on that rock for like
okay,
they
they-
slept on a rock.
So they lost their truck because the tremor whatever ate
It
it.
trimmered them.
Yeah, and then they went back to Three Ninjas' granddad's store,
Oh, yeah,
and they
yeah, yeah.
decided to get on the horses to ride
No.
out of town.
They go back to store, then they all come out and they find the little snake thing that got pulled off, hooked onto the bottom of their
right.
car.
Oh, okay.
Then they
Right,
sell
right,
it
right,
to
right.
the Wong dude
For like $20.
For 20,
he
but
was-
15
he
is
was
what
the
they
right dude
landed
to sell
on.
it to.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nailed it.
I keep wanting to call him BD Wong.
Oh,
but who is
Big Dick
BD
Wong.
Wong? Who is BD Wong?
BD Wong is
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I don't think the BD stands for big.
Bringing it back to Jurassic Park,
I
man.
like how
Damn.
immediately I went to Big Dick Wong. I
Of course you
love
did.
being mean.
I don't- So they find out there's some kind of grabber thing, and then they're going to go out to tell college girl Sunscreen Nose
Oh, that's right.
that
That's
she
right.
needs
That's
to
right.
come back in town.
So they
But
take
in the
the truck
midst
out
of all
there.
of this, the old dude with the sheep, his sheep have gotten grabbed, and he got grabbed, and they go and they see his hat, and they pick the hat
That's
up,
the
and there's
one-
his face.
That's the one thing that like jump scared me a little bit because I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting his fucking
I missed that.
face to be there. But yeah, his face was under the hat. So when they moved the hat and the music hits, I was like, ah! But that was really the only scary thing in this whole movie.
Right.
The rest of this was just Kevin Bacon being bacony,
Right. Oh, yeah.
and I was into it.
Oh, so was I. So, yeah, I feel like there's a period where they try to leave town. Some kind of
Yes.
grabber thing
Yes.
keeps them going back to the store. They try to leave town, and various escalations of realizing that there are some tremors under
Right,
the
and
tremors.
so when they actually, I think it's not Val and his heterosexual life mate.
Partner.
What's his name? B.D. Wong? No.
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward,
Ward,
But I
yeah.
thank you.
But I don't
Val
know his
and
character's
Earl.
name. Oh,
Yeah,
Earl.
Val and Earl, thank you. I think it's Val and Earl that try and go out of town again in their truck, and Reba McEntire and
Michael Gross.
Michael Gross
Family Ties.
are going to look for that college chick.
Yeah.
Right? And then something happens and it doesn't work out and they have to come back.
Yeah.
And then they go out on horses. Kevin Bacon and his partner go out on horses trying to get out of town. And that's when
That's right.
they try and get tremored, or they
and the
almost
horses
get tremored.
get attacked.
Well, one of them does. One of them just runs off and we never see it
Right.
again. We assume it's, safe.
And so they're running and running, and then they jump over this like empty riverbed made of concrete.
It's probably like an aqueduct sort of thing to channel water
It
through.
reminded me of like the Terminator 2 thing. So they jump over it, and then
They don't jump over it. They jump
They
and fall
try
into
to,
it.
and
Yeah.
then they
They
fall
try to jump
into
over
it,
it.
Yeah, these
and then
guys-
it smacks up against the concrete
Yeah.
wall from the other side,
it dies.
and it dies, yeah.
It-
Because it must be like the
That's what
baby
killed
of
it.
the
It
Tremor
must have been a
family.
baby tremor.
Oh,
And then the
now it's dead.
seismologist is that what her job is?
Yeah.
Seismologist. yes.
Seismologist, she shows up and gets a
"Hey,
massive
guys,
hard on because
what's
she's
up?"
discovered or they've discovered a
Yeah.
new species.
Yeah, of tremor.
Predates the fossil record.
Right.
Yeah, so they're like investigating and they're figuring it out, and Kevin Bacon's digging up the tail of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes and looks at all her seismograph things, and she figures out that there's 3 more of these
Yeah,
things.
there's 3 left.
And just then, they start to hear the tremors.
Yeah.
And so now they got to run, and they just run up onto a rock, and then they get
And that's
stuck.
when they
And they're
start.
there for a while.
They are there for a while. In fact, they spend the night there, and
and
then
Kevin
she,
Bacon wakes up with this girl totally
like
just
tucked in on
spoon
him.
raping
Oh,
him.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Cuddle
and
rape
jacket
like
stealing.
nobody's
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And he
She's
wakes
like,
up
"Thanks
and
for the jacket." And he's like,
he wakes up. He's like, "What the
"Whoa,
fuck
whoa,
is
whoa."
this?"
Yeah.
And then just kind of like brushes her off.
And it's because she still has those pleated pants on.
She-
So he
Oh,
has
yeah,
not
that's a
fallen in
problem.
love
her
with her
pleats
yet.
have
No.
pleats in this movie,
That's true.
and no bra the
Yeah.
entire movie.
Which I just don't get it. Ladies, wear bras.
Ladies,
I mean, you do
That has
whatever you
happened
want.
a lot lately in the movies we've been watching.
Yeah.
Ladies,
no bras.
And it could,
don't
I wouldn't
listen to
notice
Jenn.
until I wouldn't notice unless Todd said something.
I know.
you
Todd?
wouldn't notice.
I did. I don't notice half the time. And
You
you're
must
like,
be an
look
ass
at
man.
her
Faces.
boobs.
Wait, what?
He looks at their faces.
Because I respect them.
Yeah.
Why?
What color are their eyes, Todd?
I mean, Todd
Nipples?
respects their boobs.
Ladies, you can wear bras if you want to, or you cannot wear them
Yeah.
if you don't want to.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I mean,
Just when
listen,
you're being
Just-
shot by 35 millimeter film, maybe wear a bra.
Male gaze.
Do what you want, lady.
Angelfire.com.
do what you want.
Okay, but that was the inspiration for this movie. The
Her
writer.
boobs?
No, not her
Oh, sorry.
boobs. Her bra. No, the the writer, and I can't remember who wrote it. But he was sitting on a big rock doing something, and he just imagined what if there were giant
The
monsters.
thing he was doing was reading Frank Hubert's Dune.
That's possible.
It has to be that.
Yeah, he's like, what if there were big monsters under the
The
earth?
spice must flow.
Well, did Dune predate this?
Yeah, Dune
Yeah.
was like 84, I think.
I know nothing
The
about
book
Dune.
Dune came out like in the 70s, I think. So, yeah.
Like sand dunes? Are there sand dunes in
So,
this?
let me explain this 90-part book series to you in 30 seconds
please
real quick.
do. Are there giant worm monsters underground?
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So there's a guy named Baron Harkonnen. I'm not going to do this with you right now. Just know it's a decent sci-fi series.
Okay.
I didn't read
Oh,
the
it's a
books.
series?
And I'm sure the books are great. Sci-fi series, pretty solid. And then Children of Dune is the follow-up to it, also pretty solid. Check it out.
Okay.
So this is a very weird thing to say about this movie. I never thought I would say it, but the cinematography is really gorgeous. in this
Yeah,
movie.
it looks really
it's-
good.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It
I
looks
mean,
like an ad for Wyoming, like tourism board or
Yeah.
some shit. Yeah.
yeah. Jen, did you see where this movie was shot?
In the desert somewhere.
Oh, that makes
Great.
sense.
She
All right,
did
cool.
not
I
look
do
anything up.
not
Cool.
know
The
where it
desert's
was
like
shot.
90% of the West, but that's fine.
Yeah. It was in the West.
Well, we're making
Oh, well,
progress.
that's a big no shit,
That's
Jen.
all I know.
Well, that's a big no
Making
shit.
I don't know.
progress.
Yeah, I don't know it was shot.
Does it fucking matter where it was shot,
No,
guys?
it's It's shot in the West.
It was shot next to the Salton Sea. Can we move on?
This dude, this
think
is his
it's-
first theatrical movie, the director, and then
Was
after
it?
this he did City Slickers
No
a year
shit.
later. Yeah.
So
Oh, I don't
wow,
like that
okay,
movie.
so that makes complete sense to me.
Totally.
City Slickers is a great movie, also
Yeah.
a horror film.
Whoa.
No, it's great. I
I
love
mean,
it.
it is pretty scary when
I love Billy Crystal.
when Norman almost
yeah.
dies. It's floating down the river,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he has to go save it.
You don't like Billy
I don't
Crystal?
like comedies. That's
So you
all I
didn't like
remember about City
Tremors?
Slickers.
'Cause
No,
Tremors is a comedy.
it's a horror comedy.
horror
Somebody
comedy.
dies. If somebody doesn't die in my comedy, and it's
Okay.
not like 5
What
movies,
is your life like?
who do you think I am?
No joy whatsoever.
Jesus.
No.
I don't see any comedy books up here. All I,
I have
see
never
is
I have never once seen you laugh.
he's not seeing anything right now. Not at all. Not at all.
All right, so they then Pogo from
Pole
rock to
vault.
rock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pogo's a different thing.
Well, yeah,
They
and
pole
the
vault
two
from rock to
men
rock.
are arguing about stupid ideas that they have, and the woman's like, "Hey, I've solved the problem," and then she just takes off.
So
Yeah.
you want to think that this is a metaphor for society?
I do think it is a metaphor for society. Those big boulders, man.
It wasn't the best idea because Fred Wolf almost died.
Fred Ward. almost died.
Ward.
That's
What did
true.
I say, Fred
did
Wolf?
Fred
like-
Wolf.
when he like
In
only
a
gets halfway
world full
across.
of
And oh my
tremors.
goodness, I laughed so hard at this part, and I was the only one when he steps in a hole and he's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, I didn't really get what. Like, I looked at you. I was like, did I miss
Yeah.
something?
And
Oh
he was
my
like,
God.
"Goddamn prairie dogs."
Yeah,
Or
it was
whatever.
just like
Yeah,
a
it was
random
hilarious.
hole.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I remember laughing at that a lot when I used to watch this. Because this was on USA all the time. I've seen
Yeah, what
this
was
movie
the deal
a
with the
lot.
Tremors movies and being on USA? Because like the
I mean, is this not the kind of movie that USA viewers would just eat up?
I guess, but like the Tremors show was on USA. Like I feel like they have the rights to it or
They
something.
had a TV show.
Yeah, well they
For like a season, I think. Yeah.
yeah, it only lasted like
What?
30-something episodes. But then they tried another show, and isn't this the one that Kevin Bacon was on? I get very confused by this.
It's the
They tried
following.
to make a new movie, and then they also tried to make a new show, and I think the show didn't make it to air. But the new movie is coming out starring Jamie Kennedy.
Oh wow, this sounds horrible.
Straight to Netflix.
Oh,
right?
but Kevin Bacon was on the show, and so everybody was
he?
like, "What the fuck? Why can't that?"
Because he hasn't been in any of the sequels.
No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
So he
Oh,
finally
and
needs
he
that paycheck.
apparently, hold on, he thought this was going to be the end of his career. He thought this was his career low, and he was like crying.
What career? It was like 1990.
Yeah, but he'd done
He was
Footloose
very big at this
and
point.
Friday the 13th
Yeah.
and Animal House.
I mean, he did
Yeah, he-
do Flatliners in the same year.
I love Flatliners. Is that on the list?
We should add it.
Yes.
That's pretty much horror.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
totally horror.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Flatliner's actually
I
hard
haven't
to
seen it.
find
good.
on
No,
like DVD.
We got it on Plex.
Yeah,
Is
but
it, wait,
on
wait,
stream.
isn't there a remake
Cool.
of that just came out recently?
Yes, and I heard
Okay.
it was just
I'm
pointless.
I don't know anything
Kiefer
about
Sutherland was in it.
it. I don't know
Was
anything about
he?
it, but
It
I
was
hear,
really sad.
I remember seeing a trailer for it.
It's so good. I wrote a college paper about Oliver Platt in Flatliners. It was awesome.
You wrote a college paper about Porthos from The
Oh,
Three
is he
Musketeers.
Porthos? No, that's
I mean, I was in film school and I never did that.
Oliver
Jennifer.
Platt.
well, I
was
was
Porthos
you know, not
on The
really
Three
interested in
Musketeers.
this class, so it's just kind of making
Once
shit up.
again, bringing up the Three
I'm
Musketeers.
going to do everything I can to bring
God.
every episode
Every
back to The Three
podcast to
Musketeers.
the Three
Yeah,
Musketeers.
if you get
Is
to
that
have
your
sex with
comfort
Ryan
zone?
Phillippe. Yeah, it is really.
I don't really want to have sex with Ryan Phillippe.
Well,
after that.
I don't.
You
either.
do?
I don't. I don't. I misspoke.
Yeah, I kind of do.
I mean, I wouldn't.
A little bit.
You
Listen,
wouldn't kick him out of bed?
I mean, if you get a chance to fuck antitrust.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna get sued.
Where the fuck are we in this movie?
We're in. Okay, so they just pole vaulted around all the rocks.
And
What
back
did
in
you
the
Yeah.
truck,
say?
right?
And back, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's driving with her one hand on the gas pedal. I guess one hand on the
Yeah,
steering
she
wheel,
just,
and
like,
she can't see.
Dive down, and she's got like her face right next to the foot pedals.
Yeah.
And somehow is managing to steer this truck because they're just in the truck bed, like, woo, we got away, woohoo. She's like, oh, guys, can somebody help me drive the truck? It would have been funny if the truck just immediately flipped over and killed them all.
Credits.
I'm in a weird mood.
Wouldn't it be great if we all died? Woo! And then they go back to, I almost said Ray Liotta's house. They go back to
Ray Liotta.
Three Ninjas' granddad's house.
Yeah,
Right?
or his
general
his convenience
General
store.
store.
The
And
general
this is
store.
basically
You don't think
where
he lives there?
almost the rest of
Probably
the movie
live-
takes
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Like they get in there, they try to come up with a plan to get out of
Mm-hmm.
town. They realize that there's sort of
Yeah, because
What,
the Tremors
what was the
can
deal?
now
Like on one side there were mountains, and then the other side was what? The Tremors had
Cliffs.
blocked the other
cliffs.
Cliffs.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's
Cliffs
right. That's
and
right.
mountains,
That's right.
but you couldn't make it to the mountains because it was too
Right.
far away. The Tremors will get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Look up the Tremors.
they tried to come up with a bunch of different ideas, and then I guess they were being too loud, and the Tremors heard them.
Yes,
and one of the
because
Tremors
now-
punched through the floor
And ate
Yeah.
and ate.
granddad of the three ninjas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Because now the
sad.
Tremors, they can like suck cars down into the ground and they can like dismantle buildings.
Well, they sucked a car down at the very beginning.
Yeah.
There was that couple who was building a house out in the under the stalls, and they got sucked down, or I guess the husband got killed, and then
Yeah.
she got in the car, and the car got sucked down.
Apparently that scene was supposed to be a lot longer, but nothing worked. So they just like showed the flashlights up in the sky.
I mean, that's fine. I feel like it worked. It didn't need
Oh,
need
yeah.
to be longer. Yeah, I feel like I was fine with that. So three ninjas' granddad dies.
Yeah, gets sucked
and
in.
then they get on the roof. They ninja their way up to the roof.
Oh, but I really like the part where she's walking along all of the shelves and
Yes.
she's jumping as they're falling over, and then she just like plants it through the
Completely
window.
Oh
falls
yeah,
through a
she jumps
window.
through a window, or I guess
Yeah.
it falls out.
and
falls over,
survives
yeah.
because it's an 80s movie,
Yeah.
and then
She's
makes her
okay.
way up to what is she standing
the water
on?
tower.
Like the
the
siphon,
water
yeah.
tower,
where
and
the
then
old ladies
annoying.
take the baths later.
So there's this annoying.
You ever seen that old show where
What?
like the ladies bathe in the water tower?
I sing you to
Is
me.
this Golden Girls?
What?
I sing you to me.
I don't know what that is.
It's a movie called Australia where they hide in
Nobody
the water
gives
tower.
a flying
I sing you
fuck
to me.
Don't
about
I do
Australia.
a female
What the
deer.
fuck is happening? Australia was
Australia.
a great movie.
Austria. I'm singing.
The three ninjas' granddad dies. They
Yeah.
climb up on top of stuff, and then they get on the roof, except for
They're all on various
what
roofs.
is her name?
Rhonda.
Rhonda goes out the window.
And then this annoying
Climbs up a water
fucking
tower.
kid that has been like
Melvin.
playing
Oh my
pranks on
God.
them
Yeah.
just won't die. And
Yeah,
then he
and
ends
he's, like,
up
in
on
the
what? Like
outhouse.
he ends up on an outhouse.
It is sort of an outhouse. But
yeah. So they're all talking to each other like
Yeah.
through the over
Yeah.
the rooftops.
well, except for Reba and her husband, the guy from Family Ties, because they're like, I'm gonna say compound.
Yeah,
because
their blue room
fucking-
of guns.
They,
yeah.
Oh my.
and that was a
God.
really entertaining sequence
really
where one of
was.
the Tremors tries to attack them in their I guess they're in their
It's
basement.
sort of a
Uh-huh.
bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a
There's-
bunker they built,
blue
and they
room
have
of
like
guns.
hundreds of guns on this
It's
wall.
really funny
and
though
they
because
just
they're like shooting it, and then they both run out of ammo, and then the camera just sort of pans, and that's when the reveal of the wall of guns happens, and you're like, oh God,
Oh, holy
what
shit.
is happening?
Yeah, who are these people?
Someone definitely paid those NRA dues.
Yeah, and I found like 5 different websites that listed every single gun and every kind of ammo that they had and how they were making the bullets and exactly how
Oh,
to do
that's
that.
sad. And I mean, like
Yeah.
Reba McEntire's character is like listing off like this weapon won't work. Use this one.
Right,
blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah. And
I
then
did think it was interesting that they went through a lot of bullets on that Tremor, and the first Tremor you see die just hit his head sort of hard.
Right.
yeah, that was weird. I think
Because
she
of the
eventually
baby
killed.
Tremor.
Reba eventually killed it with a rocket launcher. I think. Or, I'm
Was
sorry,
it-
a grenade launcher or something like that.
movie?
A flare gun. Reba
Was
got
that
it
what
with
it
a flare
was?
It
gun.
was a flare
and then
gun, but she didn't kill it. She just lit his mouth on fire.
Oh, I
Michael-
thought it died after that.
No, well, it
Well,
Or
did.
she
The
did
elephant
that, and then
gun.
he
was a
shot
cr-
it with that big
with
ass
the
double
elephant gun.
barrel
Yeah, the elephant
rifle.
gun,
Yeah.
yeah, that they had to break the glass to get to in case of emergency.
Yeah, why would you have a gun behind it like it's a fire extinguisher?
Right. Just in case they get tempted to take it down every once in a while, you know.
They're like,
Should play with it.
we're gonna go deer hunting.
Right.
Should we grab that? Not today. Not today, elephant gun.
No. Damn, I can't find the key to the glass case.
So they do kill it. Then
Yeah.
they're gonna try and they get on their roof and they start radioing over to the people in the town. Paradise?
Perfection.
Fucking
Perfection.
perfection. The people who are in perfection proper.
If you understood
talking on the
perfection, you would
radio
get
to
it
Kevin
right.
Bacon,
Yeah.
and that's when the Tremors start to realize that they can take down the houses.
Right.
So they start to shake the houses loose or
And
whatever.
that they can't shoot the Tremors through the
because
dirt.
they're in the dirt, yeah, and
Yeah.
dirt will slow the bullet down enough that it won't hurt it enough to kill
Right.
it. Yeah.
So while they're figuring out a plan, Reba McEntire and Michael Gross just go up and start making like 50 pipe bombs.
Well,
with just their various materials.
The plan for a short time was get in your truck, come get us, and drive us to the mountain, and then the Tremor takes their truck or whatever,
Yeah.
and they can't do that.
Which it was nice of the Tremor to do that before they got in the truck.
That was super sweet of it.
considerate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very nice. Yeah.
That was the mother Tremor, I think, that did that.
Why does everything good happen have to be a woman that does it?
I mean, I think the answer to that is obvious. Hashtag pod mom.
Hashtag pod
I thought I
mom.
was going to kill that.
You're the one that said it. Yeah.
I
so,
know.
mean, I've been calling her pod mom for like a week, and she's like, never say that on
know.
a podcast. And
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
like it.
all right. So I didn't. And
You
then
got it in
she
my
just
head,
said,
man.
pod mom.
No.
It's too late. If I'm Toddy Body, you're fucking Pod Mom. Fuck.
We need a clever nickname for Clint.
Yeah, what's my
The
nickname?
Clintonator.
The Clint.
Clintronomicon.
Clintonomicon. I don't like any of these.
I mean, I think
I don't either.
I know I don't really like Pod Mom.
But you live up to it. So we then cut back to Kevin Bacon, who's on top of his building, right?
Yeah.
And they're like shaking, the tremor is shaking the building, and they're trying to figure out a way to get away from the tremors. And that's when he and other half of Brokeback Mountain talk and realize that they need to go to they need to go get the
big cat, and they're gonna
what is
drag.
the big cat?
It's
though?
a big bulldozer.
It's a bulldozer.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it is.
And
And,
they're
then they
gonna-
have like a thing that drags behind it.
Yeah, just like a metal thing.
It's a metal sleigh.
And everybody and everybody's gonna just ride in the sleigh.
Right. So they realize that there's no way that anyone can make it to that without a distraction. So they start a fucking like riding lawnmower. They like
They set a riding lawnmower loose.
yes.
To distract the tremor,
They
and
send
then
it off into the opposite direction.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
it actually works. I think
For a
they all
minute.
they all get to the thing. Like, there's not somebody who. Oh no, the dad of the Jurassic Park guy gets sucked through the tire.
Oh, I didn't know
Remember?
there was a dad in that family.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that?
You don't really see him honestly that much. You see him like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, we
Ah.
see him once, like really goofily celebrating when they kill the trimmer with the
Yeah, and
guns.
it
He's
almost
like, woo,
it almost feels like it was a reshoot because he's not with anybody else.
Right.
He's by himself in like every shot he's in. He's by himself.
like he got sick some of the days, and
Or
couldn't be
just
on
like
set.
they were
So
like
they
maybe
decided the family needed a father, and they went
Yeah.
back and just
yeah, and they were like they just reshot his character because he's never with the mom and daughter. And the daughter is literally wearing a shirt. It's a Target.
Yeah.
She has a Target on her shirt.
Yeah, and she has a pogo stick. So
What kind
what's
of-
going on?
Ugh.
I mean, that's what you get when you got 14 people in your town.
Pogo sticks?
Yeah.
All
What
right.
else? They don't have cable.
No one had cable. It was 1990.
I had cable in 1990.
I grew up poor. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm sorry. So anyway, the tremors, the 2 tremors that are left, because remember, one bumped its head really hard and died,
Yeah.
and then one was killed by Family Ties.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Reba McEntire.
So there's 2 left.
There's 2 left, and they chased the riding lawnmower.
And then
Other-
they dig a trap for him.
Yeah, they dig a trap
whoa,
ahead
whoa,
of them.
Whoa, guys,
Hold on.
we're not even there yet. No, we're not even there yet.
Way too far.
They're
We're
still on
30
their
seconds behind.
they're still on their roof, right? So
Yeah.
other half of Brokeback Mountain and Kevin Bacon are like, I'm gonna go for it, and then Kevin Bacon hits him,
yeah.
and Kevin Bacon jumps off the roof right onto his tailbone, and then hauls it to the thing. And the only reason I wanted to stop you and talk about this part is because the riding lawnmower falls over. They realize, they being the Tremors, realize that it is
a
not
trap.
a person.
It's a
Turn
trap.
around and start going after Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
and then Kevin Bacon just stops where he is.
Yes.
and then they can't see
find
him for some reason.
And they can just feel around
And-
for him, but
right.
he can.
And
yeah.
then he does his best like 1-foot square dance to keep the thing from finding him.
I think he learned that in Footloose.
He must have learned that in
Yeah.
Footloose, where he jizzed confetti. And they,
Follow us on Twitter, guys.
you guys are missing some good shit. But yeah,
Okay, so then so Kevin Bacon is stuck. He's footloosing on the ground trying to get rid of the tremors.
and that's when is it Rhonda?
Rhonda, yeah,
Rhonda on the water tower kicks the pipe that connects the water tower to the ground or whatever.
Yeah,
and
so
it
she
starts to spill
quiet
water,
places
and
them,
then they
and then
run
they
over
get out.
there. Now, if you're a Dune fan, you know water kills the sandworms. So I thought maybe they would be scared of water, but no,
Yeah.
he was like, I can't blatantly rip off Dune's
Right.
intellectual property. So they're fine. They just go over there and check it out.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Bacon's able to go full redneck Santa Claus and get the cat and the sleigh together
Yeah.
and come over and pick up everybody.
Right.
And then they drive over to Reba McEntire and Family Tie Dad's house and pick up all the guns. And they've been making,
Yeah.
they've made like 90 pipe bombs with just the
Right.
material on their roof.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is, I don't know that you could have characters like that in today's political
No,
climate.
I don't think you could.
Because these
not
like,
lovable ones.
Oh,
I do think
no.
that's what the Purge series is about, though.
What? Lovable pipe bomb makers?
No, not lovable pipe bomb makers, but people like that. So they throw like 90 bags of ammo and guns and pipe
Yes.
bombs into this sleigh.
Jump into the redneck Santa sleigh, and then
Yeah.
they start to haul it out of
Like
town.
so many bags that it's dangerous because the Tremors are going to pull the sleigh into the ground. But they got to have all those guns, man.
They do, and they come back to help out, and
They
that's
do.
when they're as they're driving out of town, Clint. That's when the Tremors, who can't like lift the machine to knock them
Yeah,
off
because
of
it's
it,
too big or
they
heavy.
dig that hole that the machine then falls into, and they book it over to the rock, right?
Yeah.
And that's where they realize they can't pogo off of this one, or
No,
was it?
they can't pogo off of this.
It's not
Is it
pogo.
pole vault?
They can't pole vault off this
Yeah,
one.
so they're just going to die, and then they start getting snippy, and Reba McEntire talks Michael Gross down.
Yeah, he does.
They
I
start
know.
fighting on the rock.
He thinks he knows everything. I know.
Well,
It's
and
like,
this is when Kevin Bacon and other half of Brokeback Mountain start fishing for
Earl.
I think it's easier to say other half of Brokeback Mountain
it? That's like
than
a
it is
lot
for
more
me to try
syllable.
and remember his stupid fucking name.
Oh, it's Earl and Fred Ward.
Fred Ward's playing himself. Have you ever seen Fred Ward in any other movie?
He
other than
looks just like that guy from The Walking Dead. He looks just like.
The Punisher.
Yeah,
What is his name? I
I
forget his
honestly
name. John
hate
Thomas
him.
Bernthal.
Jim.
I think he's a horrible actor. He's the reason I hate the Punisher series. That and it's horribly written.
But we've talked about this before. You don't like good actors
Yeah. Or good
movies.
television.
Do you really think
It's
he's
like
a
you
good
have
actor?
bad taste in everything, is what I'm saying.
Do you really think he's a good actor, or you just want to fuck him?
Yes.
No
Correct.
comment. I don't know. I've never seen any of these things.
They go fishing for.
Yeah, fishing for tremors. So they're throwing rocks like to kind of make it look like footsteps, like each rock is a little bit further. And then they tie a rope to these pipe bombs and they throw, and Fred Ward lassos it out and hooks it. And
It
then,
was totally badass.
Yeah.
And then
can I
Kevin Bacon
ask-
does it and he fails.
Yeah.
Can I ask why you would throw? Why does the rope need to be connected to the bomb? I don't understand that at all. Are they going to try and pull the bomb back?
Maybe.
Because the bomb's going to blow up.
Yeah.
They just thought it was a better idea to lasso it than throw it. And then that way, if you
Oh,
miss
yeah.
the first time, you can pull it back and do it again.
Yeah.
But it's lit. It's a lit.
Yeah, you only
bomb.
have I think they said they only have 15 seconds with the fuse.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if I throw a bomb, I'm not going to pull it back.
Well, what if you threw it way too far and then you pulled it back just a little bit? Or you could drag it along so it would still make the
see,
vibration.
Now that makes good sense.
Yeah.
That's just proper planning, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Hashtag herderer.
All right, hashtag herderer. There is not a herderer in this movie, but herderers do plan.
Those trimmers may have been ladies.
Ooh, you don't know.
That's right.
Just like all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were ladies.
They were. Life
but could
finds a way,
still
man.
get down.
Yeah.
Because life finds a way.
Because when women are in charge,
Bad
They can
things-
procreate
bad things
by
happen.
themselves.
yeah, we don't.
I
need
don't
you
think
guys.
that's true.
When men are in charge,
We'll figure
movies
it
like
out.
Tremors happen.
That's true.
There was no nudity in this movie, Clint.
Did that
there was-
disappoint you?
Well,
I
I mean-
was shocked to learn this was PG-13.
It
I
was
really didn't.
originally R for language because apparently Fred Ward and Kevin
Really?
Bacon dropped a bunch of F bombs and they had to edit a lot of them out. And there was one like the goofy ones, like they said Mother Humper at some point.
It got a little graphic there in a couple parts. I
Yeah.
will say that the effects hold up really well.
They
for
did.
this to
do.
be like
Like
a
what-
low budget 90s movie.
Like when
Yeah.
they were fishing for tremors, and the one that does work, when the other half of Brokeback Mountain gets his tremor to eat it and it blows up. That was actually have you guys seen that YouTube video of them blowing up the whale on the beach?
No,
And
is
it's
it real?
well, it was already dead. The whale had washed up on shore because it had died, and it just washed up on
Oh.
shore. So they didn't kill it or anything. But I mean, they couldn't move it
could've
because it was
survived,
too
yeah.
big. So they put dynamite under it to blow it up. And then they could collect the pieces.
Oh my
and dispose of
God.
it. But they put way too much dynamite under it. So and like spectators, have you guys not seen this? Really? Oh my
No.
God, it's so awesome. So like spectators come up just to watch them kind of sort of blow up this thing. But it was only supposed to like break it up more or less. I mean, it would have gone a little bit in the air, but it wasn't supposed to be insane. But they put way too much, and
it just blows it
up,
sky
and
high.
it starts like this whale matter starts falling down, like putting holes in cars, and like people got injured.
Poor
It is
Keiko.
fucking funny. It is so. I mean, guys, the whale was already dead. We're not talking like a blackfish scenario.
Certain
it's like
people
a real
certain people are crying right now.
Yeah,
I
PETA.
mean, no, it was already
Okay,
dead.
it was already dead.
It was already
Nobody
dead.
blew up a live whale.
Right. It was dead before
Okay.
it washed up on shore, or that's
Okay.
what they want you to believe.
Uh-oh.
I like how you knew where I was going. You're like, uh-oh.
Also, none of us did this either.
Well,
Oh, were you there? Was that what you were doing in Japan?
I
Blowing
mean,
up something?
there were a few big Japanese ladies that were there. She would have definitely got some sunscreen on her nose.
Gross.
That's only a thing people do in movies, the whole sunscreen on the nose thing. It's weird.
Yeah, because then you
I've
get
never once seen anyone put sunscreen on their nose in real life. I mean, I've seen them like rub it in,
Right.
But I've never seen someone like leave white. It's like a Revenge of the Nerds thing.
yeah, like putting tape on your glasses in the
It's
middle of
so
it. Yeah.
dumb.
Yeah, because then you'll have a white nose and a red face everywhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's real dumb.
Yeah.
Guys, how much money do you think this movie cost to make?
We're not done talking about it, but we can take a break for this.
Okay.
So how much money?
Because you weren't talking about it for a while, so I just figured I'd just start talking about it.
Well, we had to talk about exploding whales
and getting cum in your nose. So
priorities, Clint.
yeah, Clint. Priorities. How much did it cost to make? Oh, you're asking us how much it cost to make?
this
Yeah, I'm
picture?
asking you to guess.
It came out in 1990. It was pretty low budget. It looked, but it looked great. But a lot of that was just the area. I would say $4 to $8 million.
That's pretty close. What do you think?
What do you think?
20.
Okay.
I said $4 to $8 million. He said that's pretty close, and you're like $100 million.
11 million.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it only
Okay.
made
I wasn't too
16.
far off.
I was way
I am
closer
a
than you
really
were.
bad estimator of everything.
It made how many?
It made 16 million.
So
Okay.
I guess
So
it
it
made
didn't
money?
make any money, not really. I
But
mean, like
if you put the promotion
production.
into it.
I'm sorry, the
Promotion.
advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tripled its box office gross with VHS sales and
Ooh,
rentals.
shit.
Okay, I
Like,
did not
it
have those numbers.
Became a huge hit, and like it's
Yeah.
still around.
right,
You know?
obviously, because it had
Yeah.
3 sequels.
And
so.
this is the kind of movie that you want to rent. You know?
That's
Like this is a
true.
good like
sleepover movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Kevin
honestly, more people have asked us online and in person. The people that I know in real life have asked us to do this movie. They
Really?
love this movie.
I
yeah.
do too. I remember watching it a lot when I was little.
So yeah, everyone
liked
was
it.
like, "When are you going to do Tremors?"
And I feel like this is a good softball for you too. You know, because it's not really very scary.
Oh, this was one of the softest of balls.
How was it?
Yeah. Ask you to have a Brokeback Mountain.
Oh,
The one that's still alive though.
oh,
Heath.
never learned.
So it made $16 million, but tripled that in the.
On
So
VHS,
it made some money.
Yeah, it made
Oh,
some
yeah.
money. Yeah.
It's still, and I mean, it got some sequels. It's got like 5 sequels,
Yeah. I don't think any of them were theatrical, but it definitely.
3 sequels, 1 prequel, I think. And no, they were not theatrical. This is the
So
only
where we
theatrical
left our heroes, everyone was stranded on the rock, and one Tremor had been killed. So we're down to one Tremor because remember, other half of Brokeback Mountain through the bomb mountain did kill one of the Tremors.
Yeah.
and it rained down like whale juice on him. And
Nice.
and Kevin Bacon tries to do it, and the Tremor does eat the bomb and then spits it back out.
Right.
and it
And-
lands on the rocks, and they have to like
Right.
scatter, and like half of them get to the another side of the rock and are fine. The other half have to run
And our
off
3
the rock.
heroes are just stuck out
Yeah.
on the ground.
3 heroes being the Brokeback Mountain twins and White Nose Rhonda. And then they bone out. They're trying to run back to the rock
And they
where they
freeze.
get cut off
Yeah.
by the last Tremor.
And Kevin Bacon's got 1 bomb left in his hand.
only one.
Yeah. He's like,
And-
this one's not falling for it. He's smarter than this. Woo!
I wonder, why does Kevin Bacon have a connection with the Tremor?
I don't know.
Is he born of the
I
Tremor?
think he can smell Tremor.
So at that point, Kevin Bacon's like, I got a plan, and he starts
Right.
running. And then other half of Brokeback Mountain and Rhonda start running with him because they have to light the bomb that he's holding.
Yeah.
And Rhonda has the lighter. I don't remember how she got the lighter, but Rhonda has the lighter, so she has to run up there. They light the bomb and they run towards the cliffs, right? So they're running towards the cliffs. They get right on the edge of the cliffs. Kevin Bacon lights the bomb and throws the bomb behind the Tremor.
Yeah.
The bomb goes off and it scares the Tremor, and the Tremor charges towards Kevin Bacon, which is at the end of the cliff.
Yeah.
And Kevin jumps out of the way.
He like chickens it.
And the bomb
Or
goes
jumps
off.
over it or something.
Yeah.
It was weirdly shot.
Which I want to point out, there's another Australia tie-in here. There's a scene in Australia where there's like a stampede, and this boy is standing by the edge of the cliff, and he has to stop the cows from running off the cliff.
We're talking about the musical.
Yeah, with Nicole
Australia
Kidman
It is
and,
not a
that
musical.
made no money whatsoever.
It is not
Is
a
it Boz
musical.
Luhrmann?
Okay.
It is not a musical.
But it is Bob. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Bob.
It is
Luhrmann.
actually a pretty awful movie.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You guys
but
should check it
really
out.
Nobody
long.
remembers ever got made.
It is really long, and I've
Who's
seen
the
it-
other one? Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman, and this kid who actually the
It
kid does a
starred
really good job.
actual Australians.
Yeah, I
It's a
sing you
passion
to me.
project.
I sing you to me.
Is that what we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
And then I started singing the sound
Yeah,
of music.
all I wanted to say is that Australia is a shot-for-shot remake of Tremors, and I think
Really?
it's about time that Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman answer for their crimes.
It's got a little Dune thrown in there too. And this is the coolest part, I think, when the Tremor just shoots out the side of the cliff and
Oh,
just
yeah.
like explodes
And then lands on the
when he
rock
hits the
and it
ground,
explodes, yeah.
And it's gross, like their blood is like
It's so orange.
just a
It's
little
orangey.
orangey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we think the Tremors came from, guys?
Ooh, do they ever
Ooh.
answer that?
Did they come from
Because-
Australia? They swam over.
I sing you to me.
No, they just insinuated they were like possibly millions of years old.
Or
Yeah,
they
or
came from
seeing
the
them.
planet.
From space.
Or from
Other half
space.
of
Or
Brokeback
the
Mountain.
government.
Or the what?
The
I bet the
government.
sequels
Government.
answer this question. We need to get
They
on Tremors
probably
Wikipedia.
do. I went to Tremors Wiki.
Did you?
It's
Yeah.
wiki.tremors.net.
Did anybody ever write any like Tremors books?
Like a novelization
Yeah.
of this? Yeah, I think they're called Dune, right?
Frank Hubert tackled that in his series called Dune.
Is that the whole movie?
Well, sort of. So this is where they end up back in paradise. It's not paradise. It's
Perfection.
Paradise. It's not a Coldplay song. It's Perfection. So they end up back in Perfection, and Brokeback Mountain couple are about to leave again and go to Bigsby. And that's when White Nose Rhonda comes up and says,
"No, I'm going to be
well,
working
I wish
for
you kissed me, but I'm stalling for time until you kiss me." It's like you're like, like first date sort of thing.
I love all the looks that Fred Ward gives Kevin Bacon. Anytime there's anything going on with this woman. He's...
But it is very clear. It's like they both clearly have to leave. Like Rhonda has to go somewhere and Kevin Bacon has to go somewhere.
Because she's going to like lead all this research.
Like, it's like they're on their first date and it's way late at night and both of them would just rather go home and go to bed, but both of them know that something else has to happen, but no one's man enough to do it. So it's like standing outside for like an hour and a half waiting for someone to kiss the other person.
Sitting in the car.
And then eventually someone does. Well, don't sit in a car and do it. Pick like a nice place. Like go to the Parthenon or some shit. And like you just stand out there for like an hour or 2 hours waiting for him to kiss you, but he won't because he's chicken shit. And then you fucking
respecting boundaries.
Yeah, and then whatever. And then Kevin doesn't kiss her.
No,
right?
he doesn't.
Yeah, I'll say this about respecting boundaries. Consent is important, and I'm not going to go to jail for you guys.
That is very true.
Right? So anyway, so Kevin...
His patriarchy lunches are already paying off.
They're paying off. So Kevin lets her leave, and then the other half of Brokeback Mountain's like, you missed your chance or whatever.
Right,
I don't know.
No, she'll never kiss
Stuck
you.
with me now.
Yeah, I guess I'm
What
gonna...
did Kevin Bacon have to go off and do, by the way? He was like,
They just wanted to go to Bixby.
What the fuck is it? Like,
well,
so they
were
want to
talking
move?
about being on some magazine, like People Magazine or
the
National
People
Geographic.
Magazine.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think they had I don't know, man.
Who knows?
And then,
If the movie's over,
he
that's
just needs to follow her.
And
and then the other half of Brokeback
will.
Mountain was like, if you don't get her, I'm going to get you. And he was like, all right, I'll go. And so he goes and they kiss.
He's like, we're going to do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Like he's having to talk himself into...
He's like, what would a woman like that want with an idiot like me? She got PhDs. I got to get to this goddamn Home Depot.
Of course she wants to kiss you.
Wait, what?
I said you were
And then he's like,
Footloose.
wait. She's like, yes.
Yeah, I saw what you did in Friday the 13th. I know you can get it.
Oh,
Let's
dog.
do this thing.
Oh, yeah, Kevin can get it.
Woo!
And it totally ends on a romantic comedy note.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Like a freeze frame of their kiss, too. She's got some pretty hideous shorts on in this scene, too.
I mean, honestly, there was a lot of hideous clothing in this movie, but it's it came out in 1990. That was like an era of hideous clothing.
That's true. That was the peak year of it.
The peak year of hideous.
Oh, hideous.
Oh, hideousness.
Yeah.
But that is the movie, yeah.
That is.
And honestly, like, this movie wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
I enjoyed it.
It wasn't scary at all. Like, I'm surprised, having seen it now, I'm surprised you guys thought it was horror.
It's horror comedy.
Yeah, horror comedy.
Have you seen
like
any other horror comedies?
If you went to Blockbuster back in the day, you found this in the horror section.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I think, to me, there's a lot more comedy beats than there are horror beats in this.
Yeah, well, but it's a monster movie.
Okay.
And it's a throwback to like the 50s monster movies.
So the movie Evolution, is that a horror movie or is that a comedy?
I would put it...
No,
And I know
not
you've
a horror
seen
movie.
Evolution because you see David Duchovny's bare ass in that movie.
What movie?
And I know
Evolution? I don't think I've seen
it.
that.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen
David
the YouTube
Duchovny,
part of
Sean
his ass,
William
though.
Scott.
Sean William Scott's in it. I love Sean William Scott.
And
Evolution.
Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
From
Who
the
was only in
7-Up
movies
commercial.
for like 3.5 minutes, but I
Yeah.
like him. I
Yeah.
thought he was good. He's
like
great
2
in that
years
movie.
in there he got.
Yeah. But he's great.
Replacements.
But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, so like, is that movie a horror movie to you guys?
Evolution? I don't know what
No,
movie you're
it's
talking
not.
about.
That movie, to me, had more scares than this movie did.
I would have to go back and watch that again.
And in
but
fairness to me, I haven't seen it in a while.
Okay, yeah.
But it
I don't
did
remember
scare me
that.
a lot when I watched it.
I think when people are getting sucked into the ground by monsters,
There's a lot of blood in
that's a
this
horror.
movie. There's a lot of guts.
Yeah, there's that some dead bodies. Yeah. This is horror. Now, I don't know if I would put it first horror. I would either put it like first comedy, then horror. But I don't know. I think the two of them are kind of interchangeable.
We're going to get to another movie eventually called Lake Placid that is a
Yeah.
lot like the tone of this movie.
Yeah. Have you ever seen any other horror comedies?
Is Lake Placid a horror comedy?
Yeah. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
I have seen Lake Placid.
Yeah.
I didn't
Have
think
you?
it was. I didn't think it was a horror movie. I thought it was a
Wow.
comedy.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean, I
it's
think
fucking funny.
the monster factor.
Porthos from Three Musketeers is also in that. Oliver Platt is in everything.
I love Oliver
He's
Platt.
so good. He's from West Wing.
I know.
God.
When he smashes the recorder. So many
I
sad
actually had an
things.
in-depth conversation about Aaron Sorkin's writing versus David Mamet's writing the other night.
Oh, really?
and I realized that I'm never gonna have sex again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but this is a horror comedy, and I think most horror comedies, a lot of them aren't really that scary.
Do you? Okay. I mean, then we
they
should
have
watch.
scary moments.
Sure. And this one had the one scary moment for me. That was.
I mean, some of them are scary. Like I would say, Cabin in the Woods is a horror comedy.
And I've heard that that's pretty scary.
It is scary.
That's the very last one you're gonna watch.
Okay.
Yes, because you have to have seen so many other movies to really.
I've heard
you
that.
gotta appreciate.
I've heard that from you guys.
But
Yeah.
Josh Lyman's in it.
So what's the scary scale on this?
Scary scale. I mean, I can
Wait,
predict.
Are
What?
there any
any juicy
fun facts? Yeah.
I found some interesting stuff about the casting. Apparently, they had to read for Reba because she was trying to get out of music, and she had some kind of deal. I don't know if this is interesting or not, but they wouldn't have read for her if the studio didn't make them.
So this was her first movie then?
This was her first movie.
Okay.
She was trying to get out of singing.
It's a good role to start with.
Well, they were like, well, fucking Reba, man, we got to give her an audition. And she was awesome. And she was apparently really down to earth on set, and they all really liked her. So
I've heard that she's a really great person. I've never met her, and I know that a lot of country stars live here and hang out in town a lot, but I've actually never seen her or run into her. But everyone I know that has says she's really nice. She talks to everybody, and she's really sweet. She had her own TV show, right?
Yeah, Reba, I
It's
think
still
it was
on, maybe?
Is it?
I don't
Like
know.
on
Well, CMT picked it up
I
after.
see it sometimes when I'm working out in the gym, but I figured they're like on reruns, and you can't.
They
I can't
could
hear
be by
them.
now. I could be
Yeah.
way off on that. That could have ended like
Who
10 years
knows?
ago.
I don't
but
think any of us
I don't
ever
know.
watched it. But yeah,
No, I
she was
didn't.
great in this too. Like,
Yeah, I don't
good,
think
really
she-
good character for her.
Unlike some other movies where musicians have been in them and they were bags of shit, like
Yeah.
Freddy versus Jason and the Destiny Child chick.
Kelly Rowland, yeah.
Yeah.
Eminem.
Reba, I think, was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Horror is a genre that a lot of people go to for their first movie. I remember like Paris Hilton.
Yeah,
like
House of
fucking
Wax.
House of Wax, which she gets murdered in a glorious way. So that's fun.
Yeah,
The rest of that movie's garbage.
I haven't
but-
seen it.
But yeah, anyway, so
remember that.
I thought she was fine in it. I don't think she was amazing, but she definitely was as good as everyone else on the
I
screen.
really think all the acting in this was good, except for maybe that one dad that got sucked through the tire. You know?
Yeah.
There really
I mean,
wasn't-
it's really corny. Everybody's acting is corny
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
it's a corny script,
Right.
but it's fun. I thought it was
I honestly
fun.
feel like
I do
they
too.
were directed that way.
Yeah,
Like,
Right. I
wasn't
everyone's,
bored.
Everyone's hitting that same
Everyone
note.
knew what kind of movie they were
Yes,
in.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's important
that
too.
makes
Like
it
I've seen some
special.
movies where like one person is like chewing the fucking scenery
Yeah.
and everyone else is trying to play it straight.
Like
And
any
it's
movie
just-
Al Pacino's in.
Or Ben Foster.
yeah, like it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't play well.
Well, so in the movie Carrie, Piper Laurie, who plays the mom, she was acting as if that movie were a comedy, and that's part of why she's so scary in that movie. It's on the list. We'll see.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not a comedy. But
Well, and also, thank you for not making it a spoiler.
I mean, is there a bad guy in Carrie?
no,
No,
Wait
they're
and
only bad
see.
women.
there are lots of bad women in that one. We're gonna put it on the list.
Hashtag matriarchy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good example of a matriarch.
Nailed it.
Other facts I have. They were called Graboids. We kept calling them Tremors.
Graboids?
Yeah, because that's the grandpa, the Three Ninjas grandpa, decided to call them Graboids. And they call them that throughout the movie if you're really listening, but I just always called them Tremors.
I heard them say that, but I thought the graboids were the small little things that come out of the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like that's none of my business.
Yeah. Apparently they were supposed to have the Graboids or the Tremors have like a hard shell, and then the shell would come down and like the slimy stuff would come out the middle. Kind of how it was, but more like it looked like a uncircumcised penis. And so this set everybody
So what does that look like, Jen? For those of us who
Okay,
don't.
so
Hey, let me show you.
Wait.
Yeah, you just pull it's like a scarf.
Clint is subscriber to r/uncut.
Hand me that
On
umbrella
Reddit.
over there. I'll show you what it looks like.
Hand me that
Ready?
umbrella.
You know how an umbrella folds down?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Like
Never mind.
wrap a scarf around your neck until it comes all the way up to like right here. Have you ever worn a really long turtleneck?
This is accurate, I guess.
Yeah. And it's like
I don't really know. I'm just fucking
like
with you.
imagine a turtleneck that goes
Haven't you ever
all the
seen
way up to
porn
here, and
with
then
an
you have
uncircumcised penis.
Clint, I'm just trying to get her to describe a penis
Okay.
Oh.
for like 5
Sorry.
minutes, and it's working.
And she's still doing
And
it. She has the hands up and everything.
Hand up
this is how far the turtleneck goes, and then you just
over the head, and then you do what?
and then you just pull it down
Wow.
slowly.
Slowly.
And then with
Shoulda
your
got that
other
on video.
hand, This is for the sex sound spinoff. No more fun facts about uncircumcised penises.
Let's
or about
scary
this
scale it
movie?
then. Let's jump to the scary scale. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, for me, it was a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1
like,
for
it's
me
not,
too.
It's not scary.
If there's a 0, I would do a 0. But
There
this
is
is
no
definitely
zero.
a
There is no
rewatch
0.
for me. Like anytime if I went to someone's house and they're like, "Yo, I'm gonna watch Tremors," I'm like, "Cool, let's order a pizza, get the Noid up in here, and we will eat some pizza and watch Tremors."
Yeah, well, okay, so our other one, which is Ghostbusters, that is technically a horror movie, but that's a horror comedy. It's not scary at all.
I don't understand what makes it a horror over comedy.
Because
Even
it's
for
got ghosts
Ghostbusters.
and psychological stuff in it.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a lot funnier than it is scary to me. And
Right.
same with this movie, Ghostbusters and this one.
Well, so I used to listen to a podcast where they would rank like the subgenre of the movie because there are so few movies that are just one thing, you know.
Sure.
And so I would put this maybe comedy first, then monster movie second. And Ghostbusters is comedy first, occult movie second, or haunted house movie second, you know. But it definitely has ghosts in it, and that's what puts it in the category of comedy horror comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then there are
that's fine.
some horror comedies that are funny but definitely scary, like Cabin in the Woods.
Right.
You know? Or like Zombieland's got some scares in it.
Yeah, I like Zombieland.
Shaun
though.
of the Dead.
But it scared me. Shaun of the Dead, same thing. I'm not sure if Shaun of the Dead scared me. I can't remember any like jump scary
It's
parts.
been so long since
But
I've seen that.
I liked both of those movies.
Right. And so you'll probably enjoy horror comedies.
Yeah.
Those are the only kind of comedies.
I mean, I really
like.
love comedies, and I don't understand what kind of person doesn't enjoy comedies.
Yeah,
You
people
fucking
who are dead
sociopath.
inside.
Oh,
Or sociopaths.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
Huh?
So I like my comedies to have death in them.
That's so weird.
Yeah, well.
I bet you
know.
loved the shitty movie Lady Killers with Tom Hanks.
Does it have death in it?
Yeah.
Do they kill some ladies?
It's called Lady Killers.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
I mean, yeah. It's not pretty.
It doesn't sound pretty.
It's
Okay,
not.
1. So I'm giving this a 1 too. And
So
just
it's a 1 for all of
listeners,
us?
this is not a quality of the movie scale. This is a how scary we thought it was scale.
Right. I mean, honestly, as far as all the movies we've watched so far, I would rather watch this movie again
Yeah.
than any of the other movies we've watched.
And I told you would like
because it's good. It's a good,
Yeah.
funny.
Fun.
It is low budget. I understand why it's a B movie, but it's a good B movie.
it. Right. Yeah. What's our next movie?
Oh yeah.
our next movie is The Ring.
Oh.
Shit. Oh, with special
yeah.
guest perhaps.
We do have a special
Yes.
guest lined up.
A mystery guest.
Mhm.
mystery guest.
Is it Ryan Phillippe?
It-
Stay tuned. She went
ooh.
mystery guest for the
Oh.
audience.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We know who it is.
Yeah. It's not Ryan Phillippe.
It's not. Ryan Phillippe did quote us, but it was a little bit too expensive.
That's right. Yeah. He actually charged money. So, you know,
Yeah,
we
we're gonna
were
wait
out.
until the antitrust money runs out, then we're gonna scoop him up on the cheap.
Right.
I think we're gonna go from 1 to 10 on the
Yeah.
scary scale here. You're
I
Really?
gonna, you're
hope
gonna
you
freak
have
the fuck
enjoyed
out.
this day.
Yeah.
Because Ring, I used to say this was the scariest movie I'd ever seen.
Really?
The Ring,
A lot
yeah.
of people have said that.
Hereditary is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
It's not as scary as Hereditary, but
It's probably more
up there.
jumpy though.
It
than
is more
Hereditary.
jumpy and it's very uncomfortable. Like
Yes.
the
Oh.
revulsion thing in this.
You're gonna
Oh,
love
God.
it.
It's good
The
though.
best.
I have read this book previously. I don't plan to reread it because I don't like the book very much.
I mean, that's fine. I don't plan to read the book either.
Yeah.
On account of I
You
never
can't
learned
read.
to read. But yeah,
I never learned to read.
there is no film in this camera.
Okay, so I hadn't seen that movie for like 10 years.
Wayne's World 2.
And I kept saying, I never learned to read. And I couldn't remember what it was from. And then I watched Wayne's World and I was like, oh, yeah. That's one of
So,
the comedies I like.
Well, that is a horror comedy.
It is.
Garth's been dead for 10 years.
Like, and when he walks with this, like, after the body cavity surgery.
Oh,
That is
my
terrifying.
God.
Deliverance.
Ladies.
All right.
Guys, make sure you follow us on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Horror Virgin.
Yeah.
iTunes.
Website's up.
The website at horrorvirgin.com. You can subscribe to our newsletters and get all the blogs and stuff that Jen writes that are up there. And I might write some, and Clint might write some eventually
If I
as
let
well.
it.
But right now it's Jen-centric.
That's true.
Yeah, which is they're pretty great. There are 3 up there now, but I'm sure there'll
Yeah.
be more by the time this airs.
Not necessarily about the movies we're watching, just whatever I feel like.
Just about horror in general.
Yes.
It's not like today my son shit the bed. It's
And
like,
at this point in the timeline, I might be doing some Castle Rock recap stuff.
that's true.
too.
Castle Rock is about to start.
Yeah. Woohoo. Oh, yeah. And so we're on the Modern Horrors Podcast Network. Subscribe on our feed so you get our episodes first. But
Yes.
make sure you go over to Modern Horrors because they've got some other great shows that you will love if you
Yeah,
like
and honestly,
horror.
we'll be in their feed too, just a few days after you would get it normally. From
Right,
us.
right.
So subscribe on our feed, but subscribe on theirs because you'll get their podcast, the Modern Horrors Podcast. You'll get
Death, Dying, and Other Things.
you'll get
which
the Final
is
Girls
awesome.
and Death, Dying, and Other Things, which
Yep.
is great. So subscribe there and get us 2 times a week.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't want a double dose?
Right. And that second
Of
time, you can do
Todd,
like a
yeah.
scream counter and like send us some stuff, like add to your spinoff podcast list.
Oh my god!
Start writing some fanfic. You know?
yeah. So
send it all to us.
Yeah, if you want to send us some blog entries for Clint's Angel Fire blog.
That's right.
That would be wonderful.
Entitled-
Hashtag the male gaze.
entitled- The
Sorry,
male
if it's on your
gaze.
Mac, it's going to crash. But all you PC fans out there, hit me up.
Nice.
Yeah, PC for days. Hey.
Oh.
All right, so guys,
This was fun.
It's time to get the. It's
I
time
just
to
wanna
get the
say
fuck
this.
outta
We
here.
all need to go to bed.
I love you. Oh my god, I said that like 9 times yesterday.
What?
Whenever I
We need to
Matt,
get the fuck out of here.
yeah, whenever I go out with friends, if I'm out with them and I want to leave, I'm like, you guys want to get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, let's go.
So guys,
I'm Clint.
I'm Todd.
I'm Jennifer.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.